Hey WordNerds, happy Tuesday. I am here today in the midst of a wonderful, wonderful writing retreat with some of my very best author friends, and since between the three of us, I think we've published or written somewhere close to 50 books at least.
Yeah.
We figured we would take a little time to talk about writing and all of that fun stuff, so we are going to do a tag and just share some of our idea processes with all of you. So I will let these wonderful ladies introduce themselves.
Ooh, thank you. Hi, I'm Eliza Boyd. I write sweet romance, kind of like Hallmark movies. I do some short stories, and yeah, sweet romance. That's what's going on right
Wonderful,
now.
happy stories.
Hi, I'm Katherine Bogle. I go by Kat, and I write urban fantasy, epic fantasy, science fiction, and reverse harem right now. We'll see what happens next.
Less happy than hers, but still wonderful.
Yeah,
still fun times.
Alright, let's do this. Alright, so we are doing the story idea writing tag. I will put all the links in the description of who came up with this and where I found it and all of that. Question one is, what is your current story? So, current story that you're working on right now. You can go first.
Ooh, okay. So I am working on the second book in my True Love Arizona Animal Sanctuary series, and it's a boss-employee romance, sweet romance.
I'm currently working on the second book in my Beyond Humanity series, which is a sci-fi space opera thing.
I'm working on the first book in the Soul Collector series, which is a paranormal reverse harem.
So question number 2 is spark of inspiration. Do your ideas begin with characters, plot, world building, or something else entirely? I'm just sticking with this order.
Oh boy. Okay, so I think it's a mix of characters and plot. I kind of start with tropes, really. I think about which tropes I want to write in, because those are really popular in the sweet romance. So that kind of builds the characters and what kind of plot there would be.
I need some of that, because I definitely, every story is different for me of like what I build it from. Sometimes it's just a genre I want to work with, sometimes it's a whole idea that I've dreamed or whatever. A lot of times it's world building, and never is it plot, and that is always the hardest thing to come up with.
For this series, it was character, but for any other series, it could be literally anything.
Yeah, it's so many.
It could be a string of words.
Yeah,
That's what a series
yeah, we hear
about this.
songs or, anything that could inspire us.
Brainstorm. How do you puzzle piece your story elements together? Do you start with the ending and make your way to the beginning, or vice versa, or anything else really?
Or whatever. Let's see. I mean, obviously, in sweet romance, the end is they get together. So that's built in for me already. So, I mean, I guess, sort of, I start with that. But because I start with the tropes, I think I try to think of the ways that these two people can meet, or if they've already met, what it looks like at the beginning. Since I already know the end.
Yeah, I want that. That sounds so nice. Because I'm not even sure of, I guess it depends on what I've started with, and it's always figuring out what's missing and building them out, sometimes based on what might make sense with that world building, or something I particularly want to write, but basically taking that world building, plot, character, seeing what I don't have, and filling in the blanks, but there's definitely no one way up that mountain.
I guess mine's kind of similar, but I usually have all of my brainstorming dump, and then it's okay, well, how are we gonna get from point A to point B? And so I always work from the first to the end. I never work from the end to the first, but I know what's gonna happen generally at the end, I guess.
Yeah, I think maybe with some of mine, especially when I wasn't plotting as much, I know a couple of scenes along the way, and I'm just kind of working to fill in.
Yeah, you gotta fill in between those scenes, but stuff that's not gonna be filler.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess I definitely write in chronological order. So even when I'm actually writing, I definitely go from beginning to end. But I do have pieces of the different parts.
Okay, number 4, keep or toss. How do you know when you want to keep or dump a story idea?
Ooh, an idea?
Mm-hmm. All of the ideas.
All of the ideas. I write them down, and if I get to them, then they become something I keep. I think I don't actively go, oh no, that's bad. I'm not going to work on that. I just write it down, and if I get to it, I get to it, I guess.
I'm the exact same way. I can't imagine just, no. And maybe some people do that with, they started a book based on an idea and it's not working. It's I'm not going to do this one. I've heard that happen, but even I'm too stubborn for that a lot of the time. Once I'm writing this, I've put in some work here, but...
Yeah, I think the only time I would think, no, I can't do that is because I write in such a specific genre that if it's something that really wouldn't work, that wouldn't sell because I write to market, then that I wouldn't do. But then I can write
But
it
you
as a
still
different
don't
pen name
toss
or
the
something.
idea.
No,
Yeah.
no, I definitely keep it.
We reject this question.
I'm literally the same. So.
Original idea. How much of your original idea is for your story is actually used once everything is finished?
Sometimes that depends on the book. It really isn't quite.
I think it can change a lot for you.
It does sometimes. Like I have this like clear idea, and then by the time I get to the end, none of that stuff happened. But obviously they got together, so it can be a toss up.
Yeah, I think for me as well, which is probably a boring answer, but it's different for different projects. I don't think it gets too wildly off the rails of like I start with something that I like and I'm building from that of like that original idea probably never changes that dramatically, but maybe I wouldn't write it off.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, my original idea isn't gonna really change that much, because what original idea do you normally get, like, when you start the story? Like, it could literally just be a character, and I'm not really gonna change the character. Like, they just kind of pop up and are like, hey, like, this is my life now.
Maybe if you're looking at it from, like, what that first draft is, if you're someone who like revises wildly, which none of us are, like how different it is by the end, but that's not a thing that happens to us. So, number 6, hide or share. Do you share your book ideas with friends or keep them a secret?
Oh, I share them with you guys.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, I tell my husband. I do have another friend that I talk to kind of on a daily basis now, but other than that, I feel like I'm pretty secretive outside of that small circle, just because.
Yeah, I don't think I'm like trying to be secretive.
Yeah.
It's just the people that I tell or the people that I tell. I'm not sitting at home with my family like, I thought of this other idea that I'm probably never going to get to. Like, it's just this thing that popped into my head. Just a general stream of consciousness. But the writing group I do with Megan, Erin, and Kyra probably get a lot of that as well. But mostly it's these two.
Yep. Same thing. Mostly it's just sharing with you guys, and then my friend Nicole, like, we'll go through my plots together usually, and occasionally one of my parents will help out, so.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Scroll here a little. Dream. Have any of your book ideas originated with a dream/nightmare?
I don't think so. Nothing off the top of my head is saying yes. So.
I definitely felt like it's something that's happened to me, but not as much recently. I had one that was a while ago, and it's something I've wanted to write for a long time, but nothing I've actually finished has ever come from a dream, I don't think.
My entire Chronicles of Warshard series.
Really?
Yeah, each of those books, were separate dreams, and those are all from different characters' points of view, so my dreams are more like epic stories, and like I'm not a character. Sometimes it's even third person, like watching it like a movie.
For sure,
so
that's cool.
So that entire series, there was one scene in each that was a dream, and then the Eldar Dominion, one scene in that was a dream.
Okay,
I think
it was a scene. So I was gonna ask of like how much of that original, how much of that original dream made it into the final draft? Like, did that change? Kind of like that original idea question.
Yeah, like in Eldar Dominion, it actually is really similar, but then in Haven, the dream is like a lot different because it's kind of hard to explain, like the way that it went along.
Yeah.
Because I had to add more story elements to it, and it was more of like a magical journey through like this tunnel under the ocean kind of thing. So,
okay. I dig it.
And that's like a portion of the book.
Doppelganger. Have you ever had an idea for a story but then see a similar premise in a book/TV show/movie?
Oh, I did, but I couldn't tell you what it was now. But I remember having that feeling. I was like, oh no.
I've never had something super similar, and unless that happened, I don't think it would stop me anyway. Of original premises can branch out in so many different ways. If I love something, I don't like it, I'd be like, oh, it's too much like this. I'm like, oh, I'm going to market it to these fans.
Yeah, and we hear that all the time. Like, just because it might be out there, I didn't write it. It's not in my voice, so you write your story anyway.
Yeah, it would turn out totally different.
The only one that I think was similar enough for mine was the Altered Carbon show. That was actually, like, the premise is just kind of similar to the Eldar Dominion. Just the whole, like, mind-swapping bodies thing, but, like, the show is nothing like that at all.
It's just a tagline.
But the premise is similar.
Big screen inspiration. Have any of your favorite movies/TV shows sparked ideas for scenes in your book? And we're going to branch that out from not just scenes, anything in your book.
Anything. Well, I mean, I watch a lot of Hallmark, and honestly, that's what my books are like. So I would imagine I can't think of anything specific, but I definitely get all the feels and like that inspires ideas, but not necessarily like, ooh, I want to.
Yeah, like you probably never want to be like, oh, I want to write this.
Right, I want to write this scene right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not how it goes. Yeah. But I do get all the sweet romance feels from watching those movies.
Yeah, I think feels are probably what I get inspired on the most. I'm like, oh, I want to write something that makes people feel like this is making me feel, or like has this like found family element, or like those kind of things. Like it's never just this, but it's always, oh, I want to make something that feels like this because I love this.
Yeah, I'm the same thing. It's like just like some story element. If it's just like, I kind of want to do like really tight-knit family or really tight-knit friend group or something, so I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Well, I know like for the WordNerds, when we all were reading and loving the Raven Boys, a bunch of us were like, in different pieces of it, of that series, that, oh, we want to write something that feels like this family, or that feels like this friend group, or the magic system, or the history. So we all had those little things of like, oh, I want something that makes me feel like this, but I want to write it.
Yeah. I think I get like that with songs a lot, because songs aren't like, I mean, you don't want to just rip off a movie or a TV show or another book, but a song feels, and I'm not ripping them off, but I can see what's happening in the song in my head, and I want to write that scene. Like, even if it's just
and it's just what's going on in your head. It's not even like you're taking it from the song.
Exactly. Like, it's just what I see when I hear the song. Even if it's like a story type song, like I see that thing and I'm like, oh, I want to write that, because we want to write how it makes us feel. Like, songs make me feel.
Yeah, and everyone also interprets music differently too. So all three of us could listen to one song and write 3 different books about it.
We should do this sometime. We should really do this.
We don't write full books just to experiment with them. Yeah. But it'd be interesting.
It would be.
Okay, last question. Nostalgia. What is the oldest / first story idea you remember coming up with / writing down?
Oh man, it's a book I never finished. I started writing it on November 1st, 2013. I won't ever forget, because I went freelance the day before and was worried that all my clients would leave me. And I've always wanted to write a book, so I was like, oh, I can do it. I have an original story I wanted to tell. And it never got written, and honestly, I think I could do it now. It was about a woman who decides to go on vacation, and she travels to the south, but she's from like New York City or something, so she gets to learn about southern life with a guy who's never been up north, and then he'll end up going up north to like learn more about her culture and that kind of thing.
That's cool.
It never got finished. It wasn't. I started writing it.
You could definitely write it now.
It wasn't great. Yes, I would start from the beginning, but I liked that. Yeah.
For me, I think it was one I've mentioned a couple times in the last little bit of a magic system I came up with first year of college, and at the time I think there was a story that went with it, but the magic system and the like religion is what stuck with me. I don't think I'd go back to that story, but I wrote down tons of world building and plotting. I know it sounds insane now, but for that one ages ago, and I still want to write it at some point. It just no longer has a plot. So
you should.
You need a plot.
Plots, come on. What about you?
Mine was probably the second book I ever wrote, and it was, but I had been like playing those characters like for years before that, like writing short stories and stuff with other people with them. But so all those ideas, I guess, kind of eventually accumulated into a book.
Yeah.
But just urban fantasy / sci-fi, like superheroes. It's a real cross-genre mess.
That's kind of fun, though. All right, that is it for us. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to join us on Sunday for our next live chat. We will be talking about something, but I'm sure it'll be great. In the meantime, happy reading, happy writing, and I'll see you next time.